With the early start to spring, Minnesota residents are getting a head start with their outdoor activities. However, they should beware of the possible dangers involving ticks.
I know that wood ticks are prominent in woodland areas and that they are incredibly difficult to kill, and that once embedded into your skin, if not removed within a couple of hours, they can become so deeply embedded that you have to basically dig down into your skin to pull them out, and that they can carry Lyme disease.
Well, the one again, a deer tick or a black-legged tick, is the tick of a particular concern because they're associated with a number of different illnesses. Lyme disease, human anaplasmosis, babesiosis, and we've had a very mild winter and warm temperatures out now. So right now, I've heard of reports people seeing more of the ticks and even mosquitoes out now.
Mosquitoes and ticks are commonly found in wooded areas. And the Minnesota Department of Health says to be extra cautious when camping, hiking, or doing any sort of outdoor activity.
The best thing to do is when you have a tick that you know on. For some of these diseases, the tick actually does need to be attached for at least 24 hours or longer. So in that regard, it's good. And that's another prevention method you can do too, that once you're come in from being in some of these areas, you want to make sure to check yourself over for ticks.
And checking yourself for ticks isn't the only preventative solution. District Manager of Fish and Wildlife Larry Martin says there are many other precautions to tick exposure.
Good ways to control exposure to ticks is by tucking clothes into boots or socks. And then one of the things a lot of times is if you wear lighter colored clothing, it's a good opportunity to see the ticks as they get onto the clothing too.
And it's best, of course, if you actually have found a tick that is on you that's actually embedded and that is maybe somewhat engorged, so you know it's been there a while, you might have at least start thinking about that you want to start looking for symptoms, and some people will maybe go in to see their doctor at that point too. But for instance, like with Lyme disease, probably that's the most reported of the tick-borne diseases that we see. And it can be somewhat nondescript symptoms that can, a lot of these diseases can have the same thing as far as fevers or headache, muscle aches, fatigue, things like that. But with Lyme disease in particular, you might have heard of the bullseye rash, and that's something, or it doesn't always have to be a bullseye rash. There might be other types of rashes as well. If you're going to be in an area where there might be a lot of ticks, then you might want to, stick to the trails, stick to the middle of the trail so you don't come in contact, because they like wooded, brushy areas.